Welcome to the Varside Pubcast, and here we are on a very getting dark now, kind of Thursday evening. I'm joined by actor, teacher, brewer, Lee Brown. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm okay, thank you. In the sense that my sphincter is probably doing Morse code in anticipation of the weekend, but
Yeah.
apart from that, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel a bit like that. It's that kind of realization that it's coming up. And, like a week ago, I was just thinking, yeah, it's fine. It's just the Arsenal game. But as it gets
Yeah,
closer,
yeah,
you start thinking, actually, yeah, this is the North London derby. However you take it, however you look at it, it's always this feeling, isn't it? And it's just, I know by the time I sit down to watch it, I know I'm just going to be not enjoying it at all. And
no, no.
it's just going to be a horrible experience.
I mean, before the international break, I'm like, yeah, bring it on. I can't wait. We're going to do these. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm well up for this.
Yeah,
now,
but my
now I'm like,
confidence has
yeah,
waned over the last two
yeah,
weeks.
yeah.
With
Now I'm like, I'll take a draw.
yeah, yeah. I've actually been cheering myself up by watching Dharma on Netflix, but
Oh yeah, that's really. And I cheered myself up even further. I've done all of that and then watched Blonde, and now I'm really happy.
oh right, yeah, I need to
Yeah,
watch that. Yeah, is that a bit of a downer? Is it?
it's brilliant. It doesn't really focus so much on her career per se, more on her her, her kind of difficult life. So
Yeah.
it is pretty dark, and
Okay.
I'd say like view it as like you're about to watch a horror film rather than a biopic.
Oh wow, bloody
Yeah,
hell! Actually, I'm really intrigued now. Oh
yeah,
God,
yeah.
I'll have to watch it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So as we just said, we've had the international break, and I don't know whether you got to watch much football over the international break. I watched a few here and there, but
I
obviously I
saw
watched the England games.
I saw the Germany one. I didn't see the other one. I was out on a night out, and I'm glad I missed it. Really, to be honest,
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That was a good one to miss. That was a
mm,
pretty dire game. Yeah, we were awful that day,
mm.
as we were in the early Germany game. But that all kind of, became a bit more fruity as the game went on. That was quite good.
The only
But
thing I actually enjoy about the England games is that kind of you're allowed that sort of gallows humor where you can swing between, um, you know, uh, uh, Southgate is a genius to Southgate is an absolute imbecile and get him out, and you can
yeah,
play that kind of game really because
yeah,
I don't
that's
really
right.
feel that anxious about England playing at all.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, you can kind of get away with it, can't you? In a way, you can
Mm.
kind of be the big fan, or you can just be, oh, this doesn't really matter to me, kind of
Mm.
thing. But yeah, anyway. But during the international break, we had Richarlison out there. He scored 3 goals
Mm.
and got a banana as well for his
Yeah.
sadly. Yeah, which is just like, who the fuck is still doing these things? It's just ridiculous. Anyway, but
Sadly, it's not just far-flung places in the world. It does happen in various places at various times in wherever. And
yeah,
Conte commented on it today. Apparently, well, I saw it actually in the press conference, and he was
yeah,
absolutely appalled. And he just said, whoever it is, if they're caught, they need to be banned for life.
yeah, and
You know,
absolutely right. I
yeah,
mean, you're obviously doing that because I mean, it's symbolic and iconic of racism, isn't it?
mm,
Especially at football. So if you're
hmm
doing that, you know exactly what you're doing. It's not like
Well,
a
I
slip
mean,
of, a slip of a word you shouldn't be using
no,
or
exactly. I
whatever.
mean,
It's
you've gone out and bought those and brought them to the bloody match. I
yeah,
mean, that this is incredibly deliberate and incredibly provocative and absolutely disgusting considering what we know in the in terms of how offensive this has been for such a long time.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. No excuse whatsoever. But anyway, going back to the positives, he had a good couple of games for Brazil, and
Yeah,
yeah, that's really encouraging. He's a player that obviously is fitting in well with that kind of very high profile Brazilian side. I can't remember how well Jesus did over the last couple of games for
Yeah,
Brazil.
it slips my mind really.
Yeah,
I think he must have had a quietly good game, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, he obviously, as you say, had a quiet time of it all. So we also had over in South America, we had Romero and Sanchez, who I think actually played a game in the early hours of this morning. I think they finished at like 3 o'clock
Oh
this
dear.
morning. So I don't know what time they're getting back.
I heard somewhere, I don't know whether this actually, if he latterly played, but I thought that Romero didn't travel because he couldn't get a visa.
Yes, he initially had a problem, but I think somehow they resolved that.
Ah,
He
okay.
certainly played in this game. So and Sanchez played as well for Colombia. So
So just what we need really on the
just what
eve
we
of
need.
yeah,
Yeah,
a
because they're
London
both in
derby.
the same position as well. So that really
Hmm.
helps. And apparently Kulusevski could be a doubt for
Yeah.
Saturday as well.
Yeah.
So
That would sort of came out early this morning. Then subsequently, I think people like Dan Kilpatrick, Alistair Gold, and the Standard reported that he's either out or very much a doubt for the weekend, which would be
yeah,
I mean, we could cope, but
yeah.
a player like that who is so good, it would be we would most certainly be a loss.
I agree. I agree. I think against their, especially the way that Arsenal play, I think against their back four, against a very kind of attacking Tierney, he pushes Tierney back a bit.
Mm.
So yeah, I think he's a key player, really. Yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe it's just mind games. I don't know, but
Well, I
apparently
hope
he had a
so
bit of a knock.
because he seemed to let slip, and I don't know whether it was all part of the charade really. But I don't know if you've seen the press conference, Andy.
I
But
did. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
but at one point towards the end, he was saying, "Look, we do have a number of issues and yet to be sorted out, but I'm not going to give Arsenal any advantage
Yeah.
by declaring who." And then at the very last second, he said, we could play a three in midfield because Kulusevski won't be playing."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whether that was all part of this smoke and mirrors or whether he
Exactly.
just let slip, who knows?
Exactly. I very much doubt that Arteta will fall for any of this, but nevertheless, yeah,
Keeps him on his toes, though.
it
That's the
does.
thing, isn't
It
it? Yeah.
certainly does. Yeah, 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 absolutely. And
His
of course,
Lego toes, that is.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Christ, Lego toes. I've had toes on Lego before, but not Lego toes. Yeah, that was quite painful. We also had news that Loris has had a bit of an injury as well. I don't think he
Hmm.
went to France, did he? So maybe he's out. We don't know. But
Well, I hope not. Although I'm sure Forster would do a reasonable job, but I'd be much less confident without Lloris. I'm hoping again. This is all part of the smoke and mirrors, and he might have had a little knock, and he just said, "Look, just stay away."
yeah,
I'm hoping that's the case.
yeah, yeah.
And by the way, if you
Sorry,
sorry,
go ahead.
Andy,
No,
I was
you
going
go
to say,
ahead.
by the way, have you heard the rumor that we're apparently looking at Oblak as well?
Yes, I have. Yeah, he's got a
Yeah.
£107 million release clause, so
Oh, no problem.
no problem there. We're raking it in now, so yeah, fabulous. That's good for us. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, as you say, Loris. Who knows? Who knows about that one? But going back to what you're saying about Forster, I think I don't have fears of him playing because apparently he does quite well against Arsenal anyway.
Mm, mm.
And also, he's a pretty competent keeper
Yeah,
over the last few
yeah.
years. Um, and also the way that we play, because we're, this kind of side that's able to suffer, in
Mm,
Conte's words, and sit back and absorb pressure. It takes pressure off your keeper a bit
hmm
because
hmm
although the crosses might be coming in, he's a tall guy and he can probably handle them better than Loris. So
I mean,
yeah,
either way,
yeah,
we'll be under the cosh for quite a bit anyway. But I think our back line is kind of set up for that, isn't it? It's like, as you're saying, really, this soaking it up, and hitting them on the break. I think this would be
Yeah.
an ideal game for us because they will come at us.
They
You
will.
know,
That's exactly
you
what
know,
they want to do all the time to
yeah.
all teams. So yeah, it's exactly the way that they're going to play. They will not sit back at all. They will just come at us, and of course that plays exactly into Conte's game, totally
Mm-hmm.
into his game. That's
Mm.
that's exactly what he wants teams to do. The ones that sit off us a bit are the ones that we tend to struggle a bit more with because
Mm-hmm.
they, is a bit of a cat and mouse then. So yeah, yeah. So it will be interesting to see what lineups we have. So do you think then, based on what we've just discussed about the injuries and what have you, do you think that we might actually start with a 3-5-2?
Uh, I'd like to think so. I mean, I think you tweeted earlier on today actually that probably opens the door for that more because of Kulusevski's likely to be out. And I tend to agree. And again, in the conference today, when he was talking, and I think it might have been Alistair Gold that asked him, he said, "Well, it's definitely an option." So
Yeah,
he's obviously feeling more confident with Basuma. Basuma, would be a real strength in that midfield. Likelihood is that with their midfield, if Party is available or not, we will just simply get outnumbered in that midfield.
yeah,
So it might actually be a good ploy. But again, who knows? It could be that's how he intends that we might change the game, or now he just thinks that gives us option A and option B going forward because he thinks
yes,
now Basuma's ready.
yes, yes, exactly. And I think the thing is with Basuma, he's actually pretty good on the ball. So
Mm,
even if he's playing in a deep lying position, he can actually release passes,
mm,
um, through the lines to, hopefully Kane, who can then use his creativity to pass it out to Sonny or whoever. So yeah, I mean, who knows? But I'd like to see it. I'd like to see the three five
mm.
two.
I would. I mean, I know we said this last pod as well, but it did work so well when they changed that in the last game before the
The
international
Leicester
break.
game, yeah,
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 and Leicester game.
the last 30 minutes.
Of course, we were sort of pulling away by that point, but it just seemed to add more to our attack. We looked like at that point we could score at any moment.
Yeah,
I don't know whether that is because Leicester were then, fell away and just decided that, at that point mentally they'd gone. But I suspect it was more that actually we actually looked like a really progressive side at that point. It seemed to open up more possibilities for us. So I would like to see it, as a lot of other people have mentioned. I think it certainly would be worth a go.
yeah,
I suspect probably he will go with the two in midfield once more, and then if it isn't going our way, he will change to that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right, exactly. Yeah, I don't know how you play two in midfield against teams like Arsenal that are just so kind of possession based in
Mm.
midfield. It just sounds like a nightmare to me, but Conte's the expert. So the other thing that we saw over the international break was Sonny scoring free kicks. So
Mm.
maybe Sonny will get the job of free kicks. Maybe Harry will be usurped. But
Are you putting your mortgage on it?
well, I'd rather not. But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I wouldn't put anything on it at all. I
no,
mean, I would hope that would be the case because that free kick he scored in the clip that was going around on Twitter was absolutely blinding.
it
It
was a
was absolute
peach.
yeah, so absolute
Yeah,
peach, as you
piece of
say.
art.
Yeah, and he's a good set piece taker. So him and Dyer really should be the free kick takers, but Harry Kane just seems to step up and push them away. Now, someone has to have a word with him because
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time Harry Kane scored one, and
Well,
he
I think the
doesn't.
last time he scored was against Aston Villa, and it was a deflection off the wall,
Yeah, yeah,
and that was 8 years ago.
yeah. There you go.
I mean,
So
what's he
someone's got to be
doing?
man enough to say to him, unless he's